Today's episode of Namaste Yoga is about lining things up from your hips to your knees to your ankles. Hello and welcome to episode 119 of Namaste Yoga. I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. So a few things to go through with you. First of all, thank you to our clothing sponsor, Squeezed Yoga. I decided to change it up this morning. I know I've been wearing my bamboo top a lot lately. I love that top, that red one. So I thought I'd wear my Yoga Makes Everything Better top. It's winter here, so was that lightning? It seemed like that might have been lightning. I thought I'd wear my Yoga Makes Everything Better top this morning, so you didn't have to see me in my red and my new brown leggings, which I love too. So I thought I'd wear different colors today. Donna says, "You've been wearing that other outfit a lot lately," so I was like, well, okay, I get that picture. So you can go to squeeze.ca to check out all her really great clothes. Those leggings are going to be ready for you probably by the time this episode comes out for you. Also, if you go to my website, you can sign up to receive my newsletter. And when you do that, you'll receive a free morning and evening yoga sequence. So many of you are doing that. And that sequence isn't available anywhere else on the web. So that's the only way you can get that. And you'll want to stay on my newsletter because I do give out free gifts from time to time. Registration for the membership site is going really well, and also we've got brand new software for our membership site which we're working on and is going to be up really soon, and it's going to be up this week, Tim says. And Tim says this new software is like having a Ferrari to get from the house to the shed. So it's like super powerful, and we're having a moving sale for that. So instead of the regular price of I think $89.95 a year or $9.95 a month, we're offering it for $69.95 a year or $6.95 a month. So take advantage of that, as many people are. And we're still giving away these free weekly podcasts every week. So don't worry, we'll be still doing that. Upcoming events, I'm having 2 yoga retreats this spring. I'm holding one in my home area of Ontario from April 20th to 22nd at Lotus Heart Centre in Brighton, Ontario. And then I'm going to be in beautiful Ireland at Flourish Fest from May 18th to 20th at Castletown, Westmeath in Ireland. So check those events out, and I would love to see all of you there. I'm going to be teaching some fabulous teachings at both of those events, and I would love to meet all of you. And of course, stay in touch with us. Please like us on Facebook at Your Namaste Yoga. Okay, so let's get down to today's teachings. I actually forgot my notes, so I'm going ad lib. So doing my best. I know you guys are just happy to get an episode out here. You will need a tennis ball and a strap for today's practice. So go ahead and get those 2 things, and then you can go ahead and lie back onto your mat. Okay, so begin by following your breath in and out. And we're going to use a bit of Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings, one of the most beautiful teachers on the planet. He's a Buddhist monk, and what he's done is distilled a lot of more complex Buddhist teachings down into really simple teachings that we can use with our breath. And so what he says is, as we breathe in, we can say, breathing in, I calm my body, and breathing out, I smile. breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. As you breathe in, you can say, breathing in, I calm my body. As you breathe out, you can say, breathing out, I smile. And even more simple than this, you can say, calm as you breathe in. And smile as you breathe out. And then Thich Nhat Hanh talks about a lot of times we can spend, our mind is a very powerful thing and it can spin a lot of tales about the future and spend a lot of time worrying about the past. And so, of course, the power is in the present moment. And so we can say present moment as we breathe in. Wonderful moment as we breathe out. Present moment. Wonderful moment. Present moment. Wonderful moment. And if you even back up even more than that, the most simple thing you can say to stay with your breath is as you breathe in, you can say in. And as you breathe out, you can say to yourself, out. So it's really simple to get distracted and to stay with your breath. As you breathe in, you can say in. And as you breathe out, you can say out. So I want you to consider your life right now, and if you find you get really distracted easily, then what we're going to do is choose one of these mantras to work with. Tim and I have this joke in our house that we all do it. I do it too, right? We have this joke that we make butterflies, right? we're going around, and then all of a sudden it's like we get distracted by the butterflies, and that can be a beautiful thing too, right? But so then we might use a mantra like in and out to stay with our breath. In, out. Or if we are prone to anxiety, then that mantra, breathing in, I calm my body, breathing out, I smile, can help us to calm down and to smile. So that might be a good one for you to work with right now in your life. Or if you tend to get caught up in stories about the past or projections about the future, then present moment, wonderful moment might be a good mantra for you to work with. So what I would like you to do is choose one of those 3 mantras for you to work with as your mantra for the practice today. Because we're going to be doing a lot of tracking exercises today to line things up, and they're going to work really well with one of those 3 mantras. That's going to be your specific mantra for the practice today. Okay, so choose one of those mantras, in, out, calm, smile, present moment, wonderful moment. Okay, and then you can stay on your back and wiggle and stretch out. We're just going to start by doing a variation on dead bug pose. You take your arms and your legs in the air, and we're just going to start by warming up your wrists and your ankles. And when I did this with my yoga classes, it was so funny because everybody seemed in such a rush to move quickly through this, and I kept asking them, be curious about your ankles and wrists urgency here. Why do your wrists and ankles need to move so quickly? So just be curious about that. It was amazing the lightning speed at which wrists and ankles were moving in the classroom. And then let that joint movement go down into your elbows and knees. So you're warming up your elbows and knee joints. Maybe you get a little bit of snap, crackle, pops going here. And then let that fluid movement go all the way down into your hips and your shoulders so that you feel it moving all the way through your ankles, knees, and hips, wrists, elbows, and shoulders. So all the way through those 3 points in your arms and your legs. So through this whole practice today, I want you to imagine your body like a connect the dots image in a coloring book. Do you remember when you were kids? Maybe you still are a kid. And you had those coloring books that were connect the dots. Well, I want you to imagine your body like that, only your dots aren't connected yet. And we're going to imagine that there's a dot on your ankle, your knee, and your hip. And we're going to visualize that through your whole practice today. And we're going to work with lining those up, or visualize lining those up. Okay, so now you're going to lower those all down. And just lie flat on your back. And I want you to close your eyes and just picture those, connect the dots, your hip dots, your knee dots, and your ankle dots. And just check them out and see what kind of line they're making right now. So there's no right or wrong answer for this, although we don't really want, I guess there is kind of a right or wrong answer to this. You don't want your knee dot way out or way in. You don't want the knee dot too far away from your ankle and hip dot. We do kind of want a fairly straight line here. But just check it out, because we're going to be checking in with this throughout the class. So imagine those black dots and see where they are. We'll keep checking in on that in the class. Okay? And then you're going to pick up your strap. And place your strap around your right foot. Okay. So here you are again. You've got your dot, your ankle, your knee, and your hip dot. And we're going to start by tracking here. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay, and here's where you're going to begin to use your mantra. So the one that you've chosen, so maybe it's in and out, and keep those dots moving in a straight line. Or maybe it's calm, smile, or present moment, wonderful moment. Okay, so whatever the mantra you chose, going to move with breath. Okay. So, one thing I noticed this week in my class is that I have some students, and I used to be one of them, who couldn't go into full leg extension here. So they would come here, and then there would be all this happening. So if that's the case, then back up and do your leg extension here. I'd rather you go for a straight line here, bend, and extend here. Because what we're going for here is an experience. An experience of the back of your leg being stretched. You're not going for the yoga model look. You're going for an experience of the back of your leg being stretched, okay? So if you're feeling it in your body, guess what? You're doing the yoga. We're going to use this later. Okay, and then you're going to release your right leg down. Okay, now close your eyes. Check in on those dots. Hip dot, knee dot, ankle dot. And especially feel that line compared to the hip, knee, ankle on the other side. I bet for me, the line on the compared to the line on the right leg. So just check that out. I think that's really cool. Okay, now you're going to hook up your left leg. And you're going to inhale with your leg bent, and exhale, extend your leg. Okay. So tracking that nice and straight. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. So this class is so great for your knees. You're teaching your knee to track straight, which many people have a great challenge doing, including myself. My knee likes to do lots of wonky things, as do many people's. And it helps to build synovial fluid in your knee joint. Helps to lubricate your knee joint. Great for people with arthritis in their hip joint, their knee joint. So remember to use your mantra here. In, out, calm, smile, present moment, wonderful moment. Check in and see if your shoulders are trying to be busy bodies and getting involved here. Ask them to butt out. They're not needed here. Have you guys seen that we have Spanish translations of our videos now? We have a fabulous translator, Marta, who's been translating our videos into Spanish. Thank you, Marta. And if you have any Spanish-speaking friends, recommend that they check out our Spanish translations of our videos now. I have to try not to talk so much because it's more for her to translate. Love you, Marta. Okay, great. So now, release your left leg. Okay, and feel that hip bone, knee, ankle. And that should feel like a nice straight line now, lining everything up. Great. Okay. So now bend your right leg in, and what you're going to do, this pose is a safe pose if you do it safely. You want to feel this pose in the belly of the top of your leg, not in your knee joint. Now, what you want to be cautious of is sharp electric pain in your knee. If you feel this, you want to come out slowly. You want to feel this stretch in the top of your leg here, okay? So you're going to bring your left leg bent to you. Bring your right foot up towards the right side of your body. Internally rotate your right leg. Bring your right knee towards the ground. Some of you will be able to come further than this. Some of you will be able to come less far. Instead of pushing your knee towards the ground, reach your right leg out long. Here, the two dots that we're working with are hip and knee. So you're doing a straight line this way, okay? So lining everything up. So think about this. We're always thinking about on the way that I like to teach yoga is thinking about our life connections. The way we do yoga on our mat, there's always the connection to the way we live our life. So think about the way you line things up in your life. So when I was teaching this class, I was going through health challenges in my life, and I was having to line up lots of appointments to help me get healthier. So what kind of things do you have to line up in your life? You know, lots of things we have to organize and get lined up just day to day, right? To make things easier for us. So as you breathe, use your mantra. In, out. Slowly release your right leg. And you can switch the sides. So you're going to internally rotate your left leg, bring your left foot up to the side. And now you're going to be thinking left hip bone, left knee straight line. And again, it doesn't matter how far you get your left knee to the ground. You're thinking about, I always like to think about this pose like an arrow. The left hip bone being the top of your arrow, your left knee being the point of your arrow, reaching away from your hip bone. Pay attention to sharp sensation in your knee and back off if you need to. Feel the stretch in the belly of your thigh muscle. Use your mantra with your breath. In, out. Calm. Smile. Present moment. Wonderful moment. Okay, and then this. And then stretch your legs straight out again. And turn your toes straight up so that your center of your heels are on the ground. And feel your connect the dots again. Hips, knees, ankles. Okay, so can you feel how we're lining things up? Great. And then bend your knees. Roll to your side. And we're going to come up onto all fours. I always do this. I swear I'm going to remember to not wear this on the days I film. We're going to do cat pose, so if you want to come onto all fours while I take this off, that would be great. And we're going to come onto all fours with your toes tucked under. Tim, can you pause for a sec? Okay, so come onto all fours, and you're going to tuck your toes under. When you tuck your toes under, you probably have to reach around and make sure you got your fourth and your baby toes. So this is a good exercise, but if you have hammer toes and things, you'll have to be careful and exercise caution. It might not be for everybody, so just do what you can. And then you're going to come up onto all fours. Oh, my toes are tight today. Ooh, baby. Spread your fingers wide. And, wow, my toes are tight. Are your toes tight? Okay, you're going to do, whose idea was this? We're going to do cat pose here. You're going to exhale, round up through your back. And you're going to inhale, arch through your back. Okay, so even when you're here, you can check in with your dots, your connect the dots, your hips, knees, and your ankles. So when I do that, I'm noticing, wow, my knee dot is really far in compared to my hip dot. So I'm going to move my knee dot out a little bit. So make any adjustments that you need to line up your dots. And once you've lined up your dots, then you can go into your mantra. In, out with your breath. Okay, and then the next little piece here is you're going to sit back onto your heels. Now, some people find this really easy. I'm not one of them. So you might be able to sit back and sit right up, so putting a lot of weight on your toes, but you need to do what works best for you and your body. So you can sit forward a bit. If you need to put less weight on your toes, you can even put some weight into your hands, okay? So as always, listen to your own body and choose an appropriate edge for you, okay? Stretch out your toes as much as works for you. And use your mantra here with your breath. In, out. And then when you come out, you're going to come out slowly and untuck your toes. And then you'll sit back. I'm just going to turn around so I can see you better. And you'll sit on your heels now. And even here, you're going to check in with that, with your dots, knees, hips, ankles. So in my body, I notice this dot kind of rolls out to the side. So I'm going to, hey, dot, come back, don't wander. So just notice what happens in your body with your dots. It's funny, they can be travelers, right? And then you're going to lift your knee so you're stretching out the front of your ankle. And use your mantra here with your breath. And then the other side. Okay, so now what you're going to do is sit with your legs around in front of you and your knees bent. You're going to take we're going to work with your right leg first. You're going to take your right hand to the outside of your right leg, your left hand to the inside of your left leg. You're going to use your right hand to press in, your left hand to press out. Okay, and take a look at those dots. Woof, So you want to have hip, knee, ankle. Now my hip dot's way going out there, so do what you can to bring them back in. And no, your body is going to be unique. Everybody's body is going to be unique, so you're going to do what you can to line up your own dots. And you're going to slide your leg out and then slide it back in. So what you're doing is using your hands to track, and you're going to use your mantra. So out, in, calm, smile, present moment, wonderful moment. So mostly what you're doing is making sure this knee moves straight, okay? Because we do all kinds of things in yoga where this knee can go woo, 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 and we want to imagine that it's moving in a straight line like in a railroad track, okay? Like you'll see people wearing a brace, and they're wearing that brace to make sure it tracks in a really straight line so that these ligaments and tendons aren't being stretch, because your knee is designed to move straight like this, not side to side. Okay? So if you have any knee issues, this is a really important thing for you to practice. Especially if you have any pain on the inside or outsides of your knees, you may have issues with your knees being wanderers. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that on your other knee. So this time you'll take your right hand on the inside of your left thigh and your left hand on the outside of your left lower leg, and then you're going to track your legs straight. So you've got your hip bone, your knee, your ankle in a straight line. You're going to slide it out and in. And use your mantra. Out, in, out, in, out, in. Let's do one more. Okay, so we're going to take that motion and do it, and you're going to see how often we do that motion in tons and tons of different things in yoga. So we're going to take that very motion that we've just done individually in each individual leg here and do it in both legs. We do it in down dog. Okay, so check this out. This is pretty groovy. I'm just going to turn my mat over because this side's more sticky. Okay, so tuck your toes under. Now here, check this out. Check your dots. Hip, knee, ankle. Is that in a straight line, or could you move your knees or your hips or your ankles so that it was a straighter line? And now, tracking. Use your... Here you go. Same movement. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's the same movement you just did. See, it's like we think we have all these different asanas or poses in yoga. We really don't. It's all the same. That's the exact same thing you were just doing. Tracking your hips, your knees, your ankles, bending, extending your legs. Okay, so now do this with your mantra. In, out. In, out. In. Now, don't worry about your upper body too much. It probably doesn't feel that great because we haven't been doing anything with it. That's okay. We're focusing on your hips, knees, and ankles today. You can do an upper back, neck, and shoulder class tomorrow. That's okay. Okay, do one more, and now come up to standing. Okay, so come to standing. Bring your feet so that they are parallel, and we're going to line up your dots again. Hips, knees, ankles. And I think that's all I wanted to say there. Lift and spread your toes. We're going to check out two things here. Lengthen your legs long out of your pelvis. Lift your spine up. Bring your arms up and overhead. Just see how that feels. Okay. Now, I want you to point your knees straight in front of you. And then we're going to make that movement again that you did with your knees bending. So that same tracking motion to come into chair pose. So sit back. Okay, and see how that feels. Okay, and then stand up. Sit back. And stand up. So this is that same tracking motion that we did in down dog, tracking your legs. It's the same motion. Okay, so now I want to show you something that's going to blow your mind. Here's where you're going to need your tennis ball. So get your tennis ball. And you're going to take your tennis ball underneath your foot and you're going to massage the bottom of your foot. So, yeah, it's fantastic. You're going to massage underneath the arch of your foot and underneath the ball of your foot, the outside edge of your foot, underneath your heel, underneath the necks of your toes. So make sure you really get underneath your whole foot. Okay, so once you've massaged your first foot, put your foot down and just feel the difference between your 2 feet. Okay, and then massage your other foot. So under the arch, the outside and inside of your foot, the ball of your foot, necks of your toes, your heel. Okay. All right. So once you've given your foot a really good massage, then you can move that tennis ball off to the side where you're not going to trip on it. And line up your feet again underneath your hip bones. So you've got a straight line, ankle, knee, hip bone again. And what I want you to do is take your arms up overhead again. And just notice if that isn't a little bit easier now. So notice we did no releasing of your shoulders. And notice that there might be a little more ease in your shoulders now. So that's just from releasing the fascial connections on your bottom of your feet. That has a translating effect up your entire body, which is so cool. I love that. So if you have really tight hamstrings and you're stretching your hamstrings, stretching your hamstrings, stretching your hamstrings, stop. Roll the muscles of your feet. You can roll. We're going to roll our butt muscles. Rolling the fascia helps to release it. And if you roll fascia anywhere on your body, it'll have a corresponding release somewhere else in your body. So this is really effective. Okay. So as you can see, you just got a nice little release in your shoulders there by rolling the bottom of your feet. Now, what we're going to do is come into chair pose here. and see if that isn't a little bit easier too. So I feel a little more spacious in my joints for me now. And then in chair pose, you're going to come up onto the balls of your feet and try and keep that everything lined up here. And I'm going to bring my arms in front too, so my shoulders are straining less. So I'm thinking about ankles, knees, hips, everything lined up. And I'm going to use my mantra to keep my focus too. And then release. Shake it out. And stand at the front of your mat. Going to take a generous step back with your right leg. Okay. In this one, you want your left leg straight. It's really important you line up your hip, your knee, your ankle here. You're going to put your hands on your hips, turn your hips towards the front short edge of your mat. Breathe in, breathe out, sink down through your sit bone is going to bend here. Keep your knee over your small toes so you can see your big toe here, and then straighten. So same tracking motion. This is really important here. When I'll show you how to do one wrong, and this gets done wrong a lot by a lot of students, but this is is a lot of what happens, and this knee spends a lot of time over here, a lot of time. So keep your knee out here, over here, and when your knee stays over here, you'll feel your muscles have to work a lot harder, but they feel stronger, so that's a good thing. Okay, so use your mantra here. And it's okay if you can't go as far. Go less. Like, just go to there. Your muscles are stronger. Because it's better to not go as far but use your muscles than to go further and sit in your joints. And then so bad to be in your joints. Ooh. That's how you injure yourself. So okay, so let's come out of that. Do that on the other side. Just come towards the front of your mat. Take a big step back. Front leg is straight. Straight line, hip, knee, ankle. Think about sinking here, because you know what? Your butt muscles a lot stronger than your knee joint. So rather than thinking about bending into that weak joint, think about sinking into this strong muscle, right? Keep your knee rolled out. Stay to the outside, not the inside. Use your mantra. Feel the strength of your muscles. Okay, great. So, we're going to do one more thing I'm going to leave you with. You're going to roll your butt muscles. Okay? I'm going to show you what we could do. I'm going to lie down and do it with you, but I'm going to show you before we lie down. You're going to lie down on your backs, and you're going to lie down on the ball. You're going to roll like this. So you're not going to put the ball right on your sacrum, which is this large arrowhead-shaped bone here. You're going to roll to the side of it, the fleshy part of your butt here, okay, all around, because we've used your butt muscle quite a bit here towards the end of the class, and this will help to release your butt muscle here. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to be quite tender. You might find some tender spots, so you might want to just hang on them. Okay, so as you go out into your week this week, I'm going to leave you to do savasana after this. I want you to remember the mantras. And if you find yourself getting really distracted, you can come back to your breath and use the mantra in and out. And if you find yourself getting anxious and stressed, there's the beautiful mantra, calm and smile. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. And if you're getting really wrapped up in the past or projecting into the future, there's the mantra, present moment, wonderful moment. So these are really simple tools that we have thanks to Thich Nhat Hanh that we can keep in our hearts, we can keep in our pockets and pull out when we need them. So use them and take them and carry them with you and use them. Okay, go ahead and roll your other side. And I see we're running out of tape here, so make sure you roll both sides of your butt cheeks and take 5 or 10 minutes for savasana. And I will see you next week for another class. Namaste.